Now I'm joined on Morning Focus by John Conroy. John, who we know is a fitness coach of Fitness for Fun. He's previously been a member of the backroom team for the Clare senior footballers, working on stats and analysis with the team during the Colm Collins era, as well as years of experience working as a GAA coach. And as if John isn't busy enough, he also volunteers in underdeveloped countries in Africa, working with the most marginalised and vulnerable children and adults for around past 17 years in Uganda. And John is making his return to Uganda this summer. Ahead of that trip, he'll be involved with an annual fundraising run for it. Part of those fundraising efforts involves the run in Bearfield, which is happening on Good Friday. And I'm joined by John and also volunteers Cora, Hahessy, McNulty and Michael O'Neill. Folks, you're all very welcome to studio.
Good morning, Alan.
Thanks very much for coming in. So John, you just can't get enough of Uganda.
Back again, Alan. We're back again. So we're kicking off this year with a fundraising run in Bearfield on Friday evening at 7 o'clock, and Frank and Siobhan Landy from Sweet and Green are supporting and organising the run. So we'd love to see as many people as possible to attend on the evening, where it's a big part of our fundraising initiatives to get going this year. So we're involved in three aspects of charity work in Uganda. One is we're building 10 teachers' houses this year and latrines, so that'll cost €39,000. Construction has actually started on Tuesday, and that'll continue on up until August, and then the buildings will be finished by then, hopefully. So last year we built a dormitory for 80 deaf girls, and we built latrines and toilets to accompany the dormitory. And at the back of the dormitory, the 10 teachers' houses are going in. The reason that the teachers' houses are going in, absenteeism for teachers in Uganda is quite high, and in Africa generally it's about 50%. So by building the teachers' houses, it ties the teachers into the schools that bit better, because teachers in Uganda, there's low wages, difficult living and working conditions, lack of professional respect. A lot of the teachers will have to double job, and a lot of the teachers are unable to pay for transport, and as well as that, teachers work really long hours as well there.
Okay, so accommodation on site kind of rules out a number of those issues, or solves a number of those issues, and that's just the part of the latest work that's gone on there. But as I said, John, it's not far off 2 decades you've been heading there now. I don't expect you to reel off everything, how transformative all these fundraising initiatives have been, but it hasn't it? And there's been a lot of money raised from people in Clare, because you've been on with us for a number of years now, and the help from here is always immense.
Yeah, it's been colossal, the support from people within Clare. What's really important as well to point out to listeners is that we pay for all our own costs, all our own daily living expenses, our flight and so on. So all the money we raise then is poured directly into the project.
So there's no, it was just resting in my account.
No, it's all, yeah. Okay. So everything goes directly into the projects. And so I suppose something very interesting as well that we're doing next week, we're doing an Easter Cool Camp. And as far as I know, it's the first one in Africa of its kind. So it's just a GA camp for the full week in the school.
Okay, very good. As I mentioned, you've company in studio here with Michael and Cora. And Cora, talk to us a bit about being involved with this. Is it something you've been involved with in the past, or have you come on board for this year?
No, I've just come on board this year, Alan. I work in Bearfield Parish Office. I'm the parish secretary there for many, many years. So I worked there Monday to Wednesday, and I was very aware of the charity because parishioners, Drs. Frank and Patricia Hassett, actually founded the charity. So there's a very close bond between the people of Bearfield and the charity for that reason. Now, the rest of my working week, Thursday and Friday, I work in the cathedral office. So I've had huge response from all the people I've got to know over the years in these roles, and I had 2 coffee mornings there recently, and I raised over €5,000 from the 2 coffee mornings.
Wow, that's really impressive from just 2 coffee mornings.
Yeah, one in Fahy Hall and one in the chapter room. So of course I have to thank Father Tom Ryan and Father Tom Fitzpatrick and the people as well, Manana Hearn, the amazing women who organised the 2 coffee mornings. But I just randomly met John in the street one day, and I had my little granddaughter Emma by the hand, and he asked me would I go, and there and then I said I would. Firstly, because it's the perfect time for me now. My family's reared and all that. But secondly, I'm someone who's always grateful, and I'm grateful for my children, my grandchildren, and health and where we live and everything. So it's time to give something back, you know. And I felt, I'm a townie, of course, I'm a St. Michael's woman, and I felt, I know a lot of people, that I could do well raising money, you know, and I have. I'm absolutely overwhelmed, you know. I'd be bordering on, I think, 15 or 16,000 as of now.
Well, that's extremely impressive. And I wonder for yourself, Michael, whether like Cora, getting involved? Was it a sense of a mixture of, a sense of adventure, heading to Uganda, heading to Africa, but also knowing you're involved in something that is going to be transformative, make the lives better of people over there, but also, you'll get something out of that as well, a good feeling of knowing you've done good.
Very much so. And I suppose John was fairly convincing as what he used to talk about.
He tends to be, doesn't he?
And he doesn't forget either. I suppose it's 2 years ago since we mentioned it first, I'd say, John mentioned it to me, and I was always involved in charity work of some sort or another. And back in the day, we would have done the Clare 250-mile cycle and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. I suppose it's a new thing. So my fundraising will be starting shortly.
You'll be ready to roll up the sleeves when you get there, will you?
I'll have to be.
John will make sure that is for sure. John, like each year, you join us ahead of heading over and talk about the different fundraising initiatives that are planned. Each year, is there a particular goal in mind you have figure-wise, or is it just a case of through all these initiatives, whatever we raise, and whatever we get is going to help?
That's exactly it, Alan. There's no particular figure in mind. And each year, the volunteers are fantastic. The volunteers that come every year, they come back and they help out with more fundraising initiatives. And it just helped to keep that rolling on. And then, like this year, we have 9 people. I'll just give a shout out to the people we have this year: Martina and Alva McGann, Michelle McNamara. Michelle has been over twice previously, and Teresa Reynolds, Cora and Michael here, Rachel Halbert, Marie O'Loughlin and Olive Robinson. So we have a whole new group of people coming in this year. I know they're full of ideas and full of initiatives, and they're doing huge work with their fundraising as well. And everybody comes over has a particular skill, and the biggest skill you can bring is your personality, and just be open and warm to these people, and you get so much more coming back from them.
Yeah, it sounds like, Cora, there's a good group of you going as well, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of fun and camaraderie.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. A bit of development, yeah. And
it never goes amiss.
No, but I love travelling myself, and I love seeing new cultures and that, so I'm really looking forward to it. Someone said to me recently, well, you're not a nurse, or what have you to offer? But I said, I'm a mam, I'm a nana, and I'm, I love children, and I think I've an awful lot to offer, and I'm so looking forward to it.
What about yourself, Michael? Are you looking forward to it? Like to be work, but to be fun as well?
There'll be work and there'll be fun. The cancer side of it, I'll be involved in that part of it, because I think we've all lost somebody to cancer along the line. So I think that will definitely be a big part of it. And it'll be a bit of fun meeting new people, I think, is always part. I was involved with the GA for years, so really looking forward to that. Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be eye-opening in a number of ways, but an enjoyable experience. And John, you're here to talk about and promote the run that's happening in Bearfield on Good Friday. But Cora's talked about coffee mornings. What else is in the pipeline between now and when you actually go? Yeah,
there's a lot of work going on at the moment, Alan. There's a couple of groups in particular: the Tuna Craft Group and the Circle of Stitches Group that meet in Glore every Friday. So those groups, and there's a whole lot more individuals, they're making a lot of knitted clothing, particular knitted clothes for babies, and we're going to give the clothing to the hospice. And in the hospice, when they visit the homes of people who have cancer and AIDS, we'll give the knitted items. And giving the knitted items is a huge part of what we do, because these people, they never get anything, for birthdays, for celebrations. So to give somebody who has nothing, something so small is huge. And the whole thing of what we're doing is these people are not forgotten. Because we're in an era where, I suppose, with all the negative news that's there at the moment, the underdeveloped people in the underdeveloped countries are not getting much attention. So the bit we contribute has a huge effect on the people we're helping. Yeah, and the trip itself, I think, is it usually about 6 weeks or something like that? Yeah, so we're kind of going from end of June up until middle of August. So the volunteers can decide themselves on how long they want to go. Depends what time you have. If it's 10 days, if it's 2 weeks, if it's 3 weeks, if it's a month. So whatever time you can allocate, we're only delighted for people to join us and come over. What do you reckon, Cora? You in it for the long haul?
No, I'm actually only going for 2 weeks, simply because...
you're lightweight.
But simply I have to come back and keep the parish going, in Dura Bearfield. And then
okay, well that is a good enough reason. That's a good enough excuse.
If I'm not there.
You're an important cog in the machine back here as well.
I don't know about that.
I'm sure the bishop will excuse you for a little longer.
But... yeah, so I have, like I said, I've had 2 coffee mornings, and I have Rosslevin and in Ennis, and I have another one coming up in Bearfield on the 16th of June. It's a Saturday morning, and Breathe Loughnane is working on that at the moment. As well as that, the coffee mornings were turned out to be absolutely beautiful social mornings. It was kind of after winter and all the rain, and people got out meeting each other again, and some people said, God, we'd love to do this every week. It was so enjoyable as well, you know, real social side to it. Coltis are having a 75th anniversary in a concert in Fahy Hall in Rosslevin. God, I can't think of the date of that. I'll be killed. Anyway, and they're having a bucket collection there for Hospice Ginger, so we're very grateful to them, Liam Hansbury and Breda Galvin and Mary O'Halloran and them. The backpack, and I think that's mine for the moment.
Okay,
but
well,
I'll be coming up with other ideas as well.
And in Bodyke on the 3rd of May, there's a walk as well for Hospice Ginger as well. Michelle McNamara is involved in organising that, Alan, as well. And just a massive shout out to all the people who attend my exercise class and Fitness for Fun. They contribute a massive amount towards the work that we do, and they've had a huge positivity over the last 10 years on building up another community.
Okay, well, look, fair play to them and everyone else who helps out. And aside from what's happening in Bearfield on Good Friday and the other fundraising initiatives that you've all mentioned, if people just generally want to help out, John, can't make any of these events but just want to send a few quid your way, can they do so?
Yeah, we'll share up we've an online donation link, Alan. We can send that up as well in with the link, in with the podcast.
Brilliant. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people who'll want to help out that way. We wish you the best with the event on Friday and all the other fundraising efforts, and indeed the trip as well. It's I'm sure always very much welcomed by the folks over there. John Conroy, Cora Hahessy, McNulty and Michael O'Neill. Folks, thanks very much for being in studio this morning.